So now let's try to integrate x to the 7 dx. Remember, we're going to do what? We're just going to add 1 on the exponent, then divide by the whole exponent, new exponent, plus c, meaning that our answer is 1 over 8 x to the 8 plus c. Is it gettable? So now let's try to integrate another function. The integral of 3x to the 4 minus 5x plus 4 dx, ne? So meaning that here you are going to have something like what? So guys, when you start to integrate, please don't include this integral sign. Just the very same way when you were deriving. Remember when they told you how to integrate, let's say, x squared plus x. Whenever you start to integrate, I told you that you must leave alone this thing to show that you already derived, meaning that you are going to have something like 2x plus 1. You left the what? The dx. Even here, when you integrate, you leave alone the integral sign. Meaning that when you start to integrate, you leave alone that integral sign. You just say 4 plus 1 divided by 4 plus 1 minus 5, 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 plus 4, then x to the 0 plus 1, because we always all the time have x to the 0, because x to the 0 equal to 1, meaning we have 4 times 1, ne? Then we divide by 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 plus c, ne? Meaning that our answer is going to be 3 over 5, because 4 plus 1 equal to 5. Then we have 5 minus 5 over 2 x squared plus 4, because 0 plus 1 is 1. Then when you divide 4 plus 1, we get 4. Then we have 1 there again. Then we say plus c. Understand? So now, let's try to integrate y minus 3 all cube dy. I told you actually all squared, not cube. I told you must have what you must have a deep understanding of algebraic formulas. Ne? You know that a plus or minus b all squared is the same as what? Is the same as a squared plus b squared plus or minus 2ab, meaning that if you have a positive, you put a positive. If you have a negative, you put a negative. Do you get it? So for now here we have what? We have a negative. Ne? Then our a is y, our b is 3. Understand? So let's try to integrate. So since while we are still simplifying, we are doing what? We haven't yet started to integrate. We're still simplifying so that we can integrate, meaning that you cannot remove the integral sign. You are just going to have what? Y squared plus 3 squared, a squared plus b squared minus 2ab, which means I'm going to have minus 2. What is a is y, what is b is 3. Then we say dy, ne? So we haven't yet started to integrate. We are still what? We are still simplifying, meaning that here we have y squared plus 9 minus 6y. Then we say dy. Do you understand now? Yes. So now we are allowed to integrate. So when you integrate the thing, we leave the integral sign alone, because even if we derive, ne? When we are deriving, let's see, we're deriving x cubed plus x. Whenever we derive, we leave alone this deriving sign. Ne? So we have what? We have 3x squared plus 1. Even if we are integrating, we leave alone this integral sign to show that we already started to what? To integrate, meaning that we have y what? 2 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 1 plus, there we always have y to the 0 because it's with respect to y, ne? Then we say 0 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 1 minus 6. Then we have y. We always have 1 here. This is 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 plus c, ne? So meaning that our answer here is going to be what? 1 over 3 then y cubed, because 2 plus 1 equal to 3. Then we have plus 0 plus 1 equal to 1, meaning that 9 divided by 1 is 9, ne? Then 0 plus 1 is 1. Then we have y to the 1 minus 1 plus 1 is 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Y 1 plus 1 is 2. Then we say plus c. That's how we deal with that thing, ne? So let's say they're asking us to integrate y minus 3 all cube. Then they say what? They say dy. We are still going to use what? The algebraic formulas, ne? But some people, they just multiply the fraction as it is, ne? It's still fine, ne? But then there is a formula. We say what? Y plus or minus what? Plus or minus b all what? All cube equal to what? Equal to a plus or minus what? B all what? All to the 1. Then we have what? We have our very own, which is what? Which is the same as a squared plus b squared. Then what? Plus or minus 2ab. Here is a proof, ne? Let's say we have a y to the q. This thing is the same as what? Is the same as this a plus or minus b all squared, ne? This one you just apply what? You just apply that first algebraic formula I showed you, which is this one, ne? Which is the same as what? As that one I showed you, meaning that you just keep a plus or minus b. Then you have what? You have a squared plus b squared plus or minus 2ab, ne? If you want, you can still what? You can still multiply this thing here. Actually, if you want, you must, because you want to integrate, ne? So meaning there we're going to have something like what? Is y minus 3 multiplied by y minus 3 all squared dy, ne? Then we know there we have y minus 3. Then that thing is the same as y squared plus 3 squared, which is 9, minus 2ab, which is minus 2. Our a is y, our b is 3, ne? Don't want to confuse you. Then we say dy. So now you can what? You can simplify. We have y minus 3. Then we have y squared plus 9 minus 6y dy. Now we do what? We multiply. So we take this thing here step by step until we get where we want. Meaning we have y cubed plus 9y minus 6y squared. Then we come to 3. We have minus 3y squared minus 3 times 9 minus 3 times minus 6y. Then we say what? Dy. So meaning there we have our answer as what? We have our answer as y cube plus 9y minus 6y squared, and then we have minus 3y squared. Then we have 3 times 9, which is minus 27. Then we have 3 times 6, which is negative times negative, which is what? Minus 18y. Then we say dy. Now we add the like terms. Do you see? We haven't yet started to integrate, but then we are still what? Using the algebraic expression, we're still simplifying, ne? Then we have y cube. Let's check the like terms. We have the y, which is the same as 9 minus 18, or 18 plus 9, which is the same as 9 minus 18, which is negative 9. We have negative 9 y. Then let's go to the squares now. Is this one and this one, which is minus 6 minus 3, which is what? Minus 9y squared. Now let's go to the constant. I think the constant, it is just minus 27 then dy. So now we start to integrate, meaning that we have what? Y cubed plus 1, 3 plus 1 minus 9 y 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 minus 9 y 2 plus 1 divide by 2 plus 1 minus, we always all the time have y to the 0, 0 plus 1 divide by 0 plus 1 plus c. So now our answer is 1 over 4 y to the 4 minus 9 over 2 y squared. Then there we have minus 9 divided by 3, because 2 plus 1 equal to 3, meaning we have negative 3 y to the 3 minus 27, because 0 plus 1 is 1. Then we have y plus c. Do you see how important you must know how to manipulate some things? Now let's go to this one. They say integrate x plus 3, then we have x minus 2, then they divide by what? They divide it by 2. Then they say what? They say dx. Ne? So now what can you do? Just put this this is a constant, ne? Put it make it a multiplication. How? We have what? This thing is the same as what? 1 over 2 multiplied by what? X plus 3, then x minus 2 dx. Do you see? Because this thing is the same as over 1. We just multiply, remove the 2 that was multiplied here. Ne? Do you remember the concept of saying the integral of any constant multiplied by a function equal to, you can put the what's this thing, the constant outside the function, then we have this thing, ne? Even here our constant is half, you can put it outside, meaning you can have what? You can have 1 over 2 the integral of x plus 3 then x minus 2 dx, ne? So now you cannot integrate, you must simplify, ne? So you must multiply this thing both sides. We're going to have what? Not both sides, both expressions. So we have x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6 dx. Now we add the like terms, 1 over 2, then we have x squared, 3 minus 2 is what? Is x minus 6 plus x minus 6. Then we do what? We integrate. Remember, we are not integrating the half. The half, it is outside, ne? We integrate. When we integrate, we get what? When we integrate, we get what? We get, I think now you are used to the procedure, meaning that your answer is going to be y cubed over 3 plus x squared over minus 6x. Then we say plus c. Please don't put your plus c and multiply it with some things, ne? So here it will depend on you that you want to multiply by that half back into the expression. Like this, you have what? X cubed. When you multiply by half, you get 6 plus x squared over 4 minus 3x plus c. That will depend on you. Do you see the reason why I say don't put this c inside this bracket? because if you inserted it into the bracket, you are going to multiply it by half, which is not allowed. Understand? Because you just use some certain things there to do what, to work on with your so-called function, ne? So now let's try some different stuff to see how can we work out with some things, ne? So let's try to integrate this function. They say to us we must integrate for them 5 x to the 5 over 2. What's wrong with this pen? Excuse me for that. They say we must integrate 5x to the 5 over 2. Then they say what? They say minus 2x plus 3 dx. We are still gonna repeat the same thing. Say 5, you say what? 5 over 2 plus 1. Then we divide by what? By 5 over 2 plus 1. Minus 2x squared divided by 2 plus 3x, because we have x to the 0 there. When we add 1, we get 1 plus c. Meaning that what is 5 over 2? 5 over 2 is the same as 5 over 2 plus 2 over 2, because 2 over 2 is the same as 1, meaning that we have 5 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 7 over 2. So meaning here we are going to have what? We are going to have 5, then we have what? We have 7 over 2 divided by 7 over 2 minus 1, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Then we have what? We have x squared plus 3x plus c. Ne? Then when you do the reciprocal, we get that we have 2 multiplied by 5 divided by 7. Then we have x to the 7 over 2 minus x squared plus 3x plus c, leaving us with what? With 10 over 7, x to the 7 over 2 minus x squared plus 3x plus c. Ne? That's how you work with this kind of function. Ne? Now let's say you have something like this. They say to you, you must integrate for them the integral of square root of x minus 1 over 3 root what? Root x dx. Ne? And they say integrate for them 1 over x squared dx. Ne? So how can we integrate this thing? Let's start by this one. So for us to integrate the thing, we are having root x minus 1 over 3 root x dx. You must make this thing have a exponent. Ne? Remember, when we have n square root of x to the m is the same as what? We take whatever is inside the square root, we put it in the denominator. Or we just take this, we take the one that is in the square root, that m, you see, you make it a numerator. You say m over, you put the one that is outside the square root, which is n. Ne? Meaning that if you have 7 square root of x cube is the same as what? You take the one in the side, the square root, you have 3 over 7. Ne? So even square root of x, ne, we have 1. Here always all the time we have 2. Ne? Meaning that we say what? X to the 1 over 2. That is why I say you must have deep understanding of algebraic how to manipulate the algebraic functions. Ne? Mean that here we have what? We have x to the 1 over 2 minus 1 over 3. Meaning here we have what? We have x to the 1 over 2. Now, we must take that thing in the denominator, in the numerator actually. Ne? Just like when we derive, we put everything in the numerator, meaning here you are going to have something like x to the half minus 1 over 3, meaning that when we put that thing in the numerator, if we have 1 over x to the n, this thing is the same as what? X to the negative n. Ne? We just make the exponent to be negative. If the exponent was negative, ne, we just make it like that. We take whatever is exponent, we make it negative, meaning we have negative into negative n, ne, leaving us with positive n. Do you understand? Meaning here we are going to have x to the negative half. Now is in the what? Is in the numerator. So we can start to integrate now. We leave the integral sign. We say half plus 1. When you say half, when we say 1 plus half, how much do we get? We get 3 over what? 3 over 2. Instead of dividing by 3 over 2, just multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 2, to make your life more simple. Because at the end of the day, you're going to make a reciprocal. Ne? Minus 1 over 3. Then we have what? Minus half plus 1. Ne? So what is half plus 1? Half plus 1 is what? Is half. Then instead of dividing by half, multiply by what? Multiply by the reciprocal. Ne? Instead of dividing by half, just multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of half is what? Is 2 over 1. Do you see? To save your time, then you say plus c. Because at the end of the day, you are going to make a reciprocal. Ne? So we have 2 over 3. So remember, that process of SADS, it says x to the what? To the m raised to n equal to what? Equals to x to the m divided by n. So now, let's try and check here. This is our what? This is our m, this is our n. Meaning that n is going to go outside of the square root, is going to be outside of the square root like this. Ne? That m is going to get inside of the what? Of the square root, meaning we're going to have x cube. Do you understand? Then we have minus 1 over, actually is 2 over 3. Even here, this thing is the same as square root of x plus c. That's your final answer. You still have the common factor of 2 over 3. You can have 2 over 3 into what? Into root of x cubed minus root x plus c. That's how fun is to integrate some certain functions. Ne? Now, let's say they said to us we must integrate x squared plus 4 over x squared dx. How can you integrate the thing? For you to integrate the thing, you must have a linear thing. There must be a linear, ne, in the form of linear. So you must be able to reverse the LCD. Remember, a plus or minus b over c. You can reverse that thing. You have what is the same as a over c plus or minus b over c. Because whenever the denominators are the same, you just add the denominators both. Ne? So meaning that if I still have a plus, let me just say a plus b plus c over k is the same as what? A over k plus b over k plus c over k. Let's say I have a minus b plus k over c is the same as what? A over c minus b over c plus k over c. Like that, ne? So now let's try to move on. So meaning here, we are going to reverse this thing. We're going to have what? We're going to have x squared over x squared plus 4 over x squared. Ne? then we have what? We have our dx. So x squared over x squared is what? Is 1. We have 1 plus 4. We must make that thing is in the numerator, ne? Which means we are having what? 4 to the x minus 2. Ne? Then we say dx. Then now we start to integrate. The integral of 1 with respect to x is what? It is just x. Then plus 4. Then x minus 2 plus 1 is the same as what? S minus 1. Then we also divide by minus 1 plus c. Our answer is going to be simply x minus 4. Then we can make that x to go back in the numerator since well the exponent is negative. Then we have over x plus c. That's how simple it is to work with those functions like that. Ne? So now, let's say they say to you, what is the integral of 1 plus 3t multiplied by t squared dt? Make sure you have a linear, not a product. Ne? Then you have something like what? You multiply the t squared both sides, we have t squared plus 3t cubed dt. Then now you integrate to get that you have t over 3 divided by 3 plus 3t over 4 divided by 4 plus c. Do you understand? That's how you work with those things. Then let's say you have what? You have a square root of 2t squared minus 1 all squared dt. You must make sure you multiply that function. Ne? That thing is the same as what? Is the same as a minus b all squared, which is the same as a squared plus b squared minus 2ab, which means here we're going to have what? 2t squared all squared plus 1 squared minus 2. Our a is 2t squared. Ne? Then our b is what? Our b is 1. Then we say dt. So meaning that we have something like what? We have something like the integral of what? What is 2 squared? 2 squared is 4. Why? Because if I can have a multiplied by b raised to the n exponent, that exponent is going to multiply the exponent of both things. Ne? This exponent will go here and go here. Ne? Meaning this 2 will go here and also go here, which means 2 squared is 4. Then t squared, that 2 is going to be multiplied by 2, which means it's going to be 4. Ne? Then plus 1 minus 2 multiplied by 2 is minus 4 t squared. Then we say dt. So when we integrate there, we get 4, 2 to the 5 divided by 5 plus t, because we always have 2t to the 0 there. Then we say what? Minus 4 divided by all to the 3 divided by 3 plus c. That's our final answer there. So let's try to check another question. Another question says the integral of y cube multiplied by cube root of y dy. Remember guys, here we start by what? By changing that fraction. Ne? We have 1 here. Remember the formula says what? Any variable raised to the no, actually it's not always the variable. Let's say we have a function f of x raised to the n multiplied by m. We just what? We just check that what? That exponent. Ne? We check that exponent inside the square root. We do what? We put it in the numerator. We divide by whatever is outside the square root. Ne? Meaning here we are going to have what? Y. We check that thing inside the square root. We say what? 1 over outside of the square root is 3. Then we have dy. Remember, we have same basis. It's the same as a to the n plus b to the what? To the m, which is what? No, those one is not that thing. we say when we have the same basis, we do what? We add the exponent, ne? So even here we're going to add the exponent, meaning we're going to have y 3 plus what? 1 over 3 dy, ne? Then what is 3 plus 1 to the 3? We say 1 to the 3 plus 3, which is 10 over 3. So y to the 10 over 3. Remember, we haven't yet started to integrate. Now let's integrate. You say y to the 10 over 3 plus 1. Then we divide by 10 over 3 plus 1 plus c. So we say answer plus 1, we get 13 over 3. So reciprocal of 13 over 3 is 3 over 10. Then we say 3 over, no, 10, 13 over, where did I get that 10? Because it's 13 over 10. So when we add 1 here, we get 13 over 3. So instead of multiplying or dividing by that exponent, let's multiply by its reciprocal, which is 13 over, the numerator is 13 plus c, meaning that our answer is what? Is 3 over 13. Let's try to insert that thing inside the square root. The property says when we have what? When you have any function raised to the n, m, we do what? We say that function, we take the exponent, we put it in the numerator, we divide by whatever is outside the square root. Meaning when we reverse it, we take the exponent, we put it inside the what? The function. Here's our numerator. We put it inside the what? The square root. We say what? We say y to the 13. We take whatever is inside the numerator, we put it outside the what? The square root. Then we have what? We have 3. Ne? Then we say plus c. That's how easy you can simplify that thing. Ne? So I hope now you are getting used to the procedure of solving those questions. Ne? So let me tell you about something. Ne? Remember the formula of saying x to the n dx. It says what? It says is x to the n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c. But then if you see here, this thing can never be equal to 0. Ne? Meaning that n plus 1 can never be equal to 0. Understand? Meaning that n can never be equal to negative 1. Ne? Meaning that this thing must not be equal to what? To negative 1. Because if we have 0 in the denominator, we are going to have what? Undefined. Meaning that we cannot integrate something like this, dx, which is the same as what? As 1 over x. Ne? I will show you in another concept. Ne? But then n can be any number except negative 1. Understand? I hope you get my point, because that thing is different from the others. Ne? But then it is easy to integrate something like let's say they say integrate what's this, 5x squared plus 6 x to the negative 3. It is easy because you'll just take what? You'll just take those things and put them in the numerator. You say minus 2, say plus 6, say x minus into minus 3. Understand? So it is easy. Therefore, you know you are going to have what? 5, you add 1 there, you get negative 1. You divide by negative 1. Plus, you get what? You get 6 to the 3. Negative times negative is positive. You say 3 plus 1 gives you us 4. We divide by 4. We say plus c. Meaning our answer is going to be negative 5. We can take that x to the denominator actually. Then we say plus, what is 6 divided by 4? It is, I think it is 3 over 2, because 2 times 2, 3 times 2, the 2's they cancel. You have x to the 4 plus c. Why I say it's not easy to integrate something like this? Because when you integrate the thing, you'll just what? You'll just say negative 1 plus 1. You divide by negative 1 plus 1 plus c. Then we get something like what? X to the 0, you divide by 0. We cannot divide by 0 because this thing is what? It is undefined. But then there is how we can integrate it. I will show you in another concept of integrating things like that.